Since 1980, the machine and industrial machinery industry represented in Romania approximately 35% of the total industrial production, being the largest industrial sector. In the 1950s, Romania was using technology support from the Soviet Union and the CAER member countries. With Nicolae Ceausescu elected to the leadership of the Romanian Communist Party and the state, since 1965, Romania has expanded its relations with the West, being interested in acquiring superior technology and concluding partnerships with companies from those countries. It has not ceased to use and the opportunities from CAER. Collaboration with technology and capital from developed countries has brought Romania great advantages in accelerating the development of industry in all branches, but also on the line of competitiveness in international trade. Romanian exports from the machinery and equipment industry included a market segment from the developed countries, but especially they turned to developing countries from all continents. Moreover, Romania has even successfully built factories on the territory of developing countries. Restrictions imposed on imports by state leadership have led the indigenous industry to meet nearly 90% of the country's machinery and equipment needs. In the 1980s, only a few developed countries could boast of such performance. There were plenty of cases where the domestic production of machinery and equipment did not reach the highest and desired standards, but Romania was obliged to fight and progress on the go. Both in terms of quantity and in terms of production diversity, the machinery and equipment industry was impressive. In 1982, Romania ranks number 10 in the world of machine tool manufacturing and became the world's largest exporter of freight rail wagons and the third largest oil equipment exporter. Romania was one of the few countries who build maritime drilling platforms. The huge platforms were assembled on the Galeți City shipyard using locally produced components. Great steps have also been taken and in the construction of ships, SUV vehicles, airplanes, and electrical and electronic equipment. After a quarter of a century, Romania's industry remained just a memory. There are only very few industrial locations, the rest being economically devalued, physically destroyed, sold with ridiculous prices to domestic or foreign politics jackals who bought them to annihilate the competition made to similar industries from their world of interests. Succinct, the history of Romanian cars, manufactured after the Second World War, sounds like this. In 1953, the first Romanian truck, named SR-101, was started fabrication at the Red Flag factory from Brașov. It was designed after the Soviet ZIS-150 truck. The Romanian truck had a 6-cylinder engine in line with a capacity of 5.5 liters, producing 95 horsepower at 2,800 RPM and consumes 33 liters per 100 kilometers. Next was the SR-131 Carpathians with the 140 horsepower V8 engine SR-132, SR-115 Bakshiji, who circulate with 80 km per hour, SR-114, SR-116, and other body variants, like transport of persons, tipping truck, transport, military truck, etc. It was turned to be fabricated, the modern truck, named 781, with a payload of 7 tons, a special line, with advanced cabin, and the same 140 horsepower V8 engine, as the SR-211 truck. IMS-57 was the first SUV vehicle from Romania, inspired by a Russian model, then was fabricated, IMS-58 and 59, and in 1972, followed the Aero 24 series, which was produced at Muskshel Mechanical Plant from Campulan Town, heavy terrain machinery, which have become, over time, some of the best-selling 4x4 vehicles from all over the world, Romania being on the 3rd place in the world to export of off-road vehicles for many years. Starting with 1957, begins and manufacturing of the first Romanian bus, named TV1, thus christened after the initials of name of national hero Tudor Vlad Murescu. These buses, manufactured by the Bucharest bus plant, have a capacity of 26 on seats and 39 on feet. The first Romanian van, called TV4, made after a known project, was launched in 1958. It has an IMS engine and is capable of carrying 1,000 kilograms. Next, in the same bus factory from Bucharest, is being manufactured the TV2U and TV2R buses, with several places in plus for passengers. The TV vans were produced with rear or double-wheel drive and were van, mini truck, minibus, sanitary, recreational, or milk tank. Until 1970, a total of 12 types of buses and vans were manufactured at the Bucharest bus factory, and in 1975, 34 different types of such vehicles were produced. In same time, an absolute performance of the Romanian automotive industry. In 1968, the Dacia 1100 was built at the Viteshti Cars plant from Mioviani City, followed a year later by a Dacia 1300. These models were manufactured under Renault license by type R8, respectively R12. They followed the after 1980s models Dacia 1310, Dacia 1410, Dacia Sport, Dacia Noga, Supernova, Salenza, the modern Logan model, etc. In 1976, following a collaboration between the Romanian state and Citroën, the Oldsit passenger car factory from Craiova City was born. Here was fabricated several car models with 3 doors and 2 volumes or pickups until 1991, when the French retired from Romania. After the so-called revolution from December 1989, the Romanian car industry collapsed, being sold, destroyed, or stolen by individuals with outside interests over this action, except for Dacia, which was taken over by Renault, which it produces here some success models, thanks to the cheap labor of this area of Europe.